Live from the great state of Texas, welcome to the Texas HomeSchool Conventions Show. The show is live, so please comment during the show.
Each week, we empower today's homeschool families with invaluable resources. Texas HomeSchool Convention is more than a podcast show. We're a vibrant community, a gathering of people supporting one another in the incredible journey of raising the next generation of world changers.
Now, grab a seat, get comfortable, and join families throughout the United States and around the world as we dive into today's conversation. Live from Texas is the Texas HomeSchool Conventions Show.
Happy Friday! Hello, everybody. Welcome to our weekly show. Thank you guys so much. This is week 4 of our Texas HomeSchool Convention Show. And guys, each week it has gotten better and better. If you've been with us over the last few weeks, you know that the first week we laid the groundwork of everything that's happening at this year's convention. And then even the second week, we talked to Amy Kemper talking about the largest exhibit hall in Texas happening in Fort Worth for homeschool resources this year. And then last week, we had an awesome opportunity to meet with our keynote, Melanie Hempy from Screen Strong. And guys, if you did not watch that, go back, check it out. Screen Strong is doing incredible work. And if you come to our convention, you're going to get to see their keynote and then 3 additional workshops that they're going to be hosting. And so we're pumped about that. Now, this week is no different. We actually have Trey Shenemam on the podcast with us this week, and he is here to talk about his journey as a special needs dad. Now, each week you guys have been emailing in and asking, hey, when are workshops being released? What are the topics being talked about? Your questions have officially been answered. And so I'm going to actually share my screen with you real quick. If you've been to our new website at convention.thsc.org, you'll see that we've got a cool new website where you can check out the agendas, the speakers, workshops, the whole thing. And so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. This is it. This is Fort Worth. Houston is being updated as we speak, but Fort Worth is ready and up and running. And so if you actually go in, you can check out our speaker lineup here. Guys, we've got so many speakers. I've got to scroll for 5 minutes just to get to the bottom of it. We've got an awesome workshop agenda lined up. And guys, I'm adding to this every single day. So if you check it today, you're going to see a ton of great stuff. And then if you check it next week, you're going to see even more being added. I think I'm up to 105 workshops, and I've still got most of Saturday to go. So I wanted to show you a quick feature, though, just so you're in the loop. If you go over here to this filter button, you can actually come in and search for your favorite speakers, search for a topic. And so today, knowing that we're talking about special needs, I wanted to bring you guys into this. We have released the first of our mini workshops. And if you go to session tags, you'll see that there is a special needs tab. And if you apply a filter, you'll begin to see all the workshops that we are adding in. So right now we only have 2, but by the end of next week, we're going to have dozens of workshops just for this, because we know that this is an important topic for people. And so not only do we have things for dyslexia, but we're also going to have a company coming in called Therapy and Beyond, who's talking about ABA therapies and how to incorporate that. I spoke with a woman yesterday who's coming in to talk to special needs families about how to get registered for resources that you might not need for 10 years. But guys, the waiting list is already growing. And so we're going to have people on site talking with you about that. So before we go any further, I would love for you to share this, tag a friend who you think this would be applicable to. Unfortunately, we know the growing number of people coming into homeschool are coming in with special circumstances. And so not only do we want to make sure that we encourage these families, but our convention is designed for 3 parts. We encourage them, we equip them, and then we empower them to go and do what God has called them to do. So share this with a friend. This conversation is going to be really special today. And so without further ado, I would love to introduce you to my friend Trey. You have probably never heard of Trey, but you have heard about all the companies that he has worked with. Ramsey Solutions, that's helped us all get out of debt. Amen. So come on, somebody. He's worked with John Maxwell and Company, and he's worked with so many other companies as their chief marketing officer and helped them launch into their new brands that you see today. But more importantly, Trey's biggest thing that he is proud of is that he is a father to his family, and he is a father to a son with special needs. And so today we're going to dive into that journey with him. So again, before I introduce Trey, tag a friend, like this, share it, subscribe, do all the things that you normally do. And guys, without further ado, let's welcome in Trey.
Let's see. Yeah, I didn't You're clapping. I didn't expect to get claps at 10 a.m. on a Friday, but that's pretty cool. How are you today?
I'm so good. How are you?
You know, I feel extra grateful this morning. Just got up in the Word this morning with some brothers, and just in Philippians 2 this morning, and being challenged about treating others more highly than you would treat yourself. And so just reminded this morning that we're all put here to serve, and I'm excited to get to serve alongside you and the great team at THSC. I'm excited about this content. I'm excited about this mission, and hopefully we can encourage some people today.
I love that. I love that. And guys, you weren't on the behind the scenes ahead of time, but Trey and I are arch football rivals as it finds. So currently he's doing a great job of blocking his University of Georgia footballs. There it is. So next week, if you see me with a banner or a flag behind me, you know where that came from. But Trey, thanks for being on. It's always good to talk with you. You've got a lot going on in your world right now. And so I know we're going to touch on a few different things, but I would love for you to give your 30-second pitch. Who are you? Tell us where you're from, your family, your passions, your hobbies.
Yeah, so I live in the next great state other than Texas, which is Tennessee, just outside of Nashville, in a town called Franklin. Been married for 15 years to my beautiful bride, who I very clearly outkicked my coverage with. Her name is Jennifer. She goes by Jenny. We have two incredible children, Bear, who's 13, and Hartley Grace, who is 8. And yeah, I'm loving serving on the leadership team here at THSC and helping to figure out how to steward the mission in the state of Texas, because I think homeschool and family rights is a preeminent issue in today's world. And I'm hoping we do such a great job in Texas that it spills over into Tennessee and that our state can kind of follow suit. So I'm excited to talk with you today, and especially about what it looks like navigating especially the middle school and soon to be high school years as a homeschool special needs father. And hope I can encourage somebody today with the journey we've been on and what we're learning.
Yeah, that's great. So let's set the stage. Let's talk about Bear, right? Who's your special needs son? Talk to us about, who is he? What does he love? I know we don't define people by their disability. So tell us who Bear is and what brings you into this conversation.
Absolutely. So Barrington, and Stephen is his middle name. He goes by Bear for short. His name, the etymology of his name actually means victor over lands of trouble, which we didn't know that when we gave birth to Bear, that our pastor came in and gave us a plaque after he was born that explained the etymology of his name. And that's sort of who Bear's been his whole life. So if Bear was on this call, he'd say, I have several diagnoses, but I'm not sick. That's what he'll always say about himself. He's got the most just curious and all in wonder outlook on the world and on who he is and on what his purpose is. And so, but that being said, we have sort of had to figure out what will work for Bear based on his conditions, his hospital needs, his social anxiety, which he's come so far along the lines. He is on the spectrum. He's also born with a super rare birth defect called bilateral microtia atresia, which essentially boiled down means the ear canals of both of his ears didn't open. So he has to wear hearing devices that aren't cochlear implants. They're actually called bone conducting hearing aids. He's been in and out of speech therapy. He's got a condition called hypotonia, which means he gets really tired. He's got underdeveloped muscles in his legs. So he's just got a lot of things. And I will say, it wasn't until the COVID year for us where we were really like, okay, is the school system set up for Bear to win? And once the masking started and all of that stuff happened, that just will not work for the way Bear communicates. And so that was the year for us where we were like, we had been considering homeschool. He was about to be in middle school. My wife and I were both educators in a former career. I was a high school teacher. She was a middle school teacher. So we felt like he was entering a period of development where we both felt like we could be at home in that side of his development. So we made the jump in 2020, and it was the best decision for Bear we could have ever made. He is thriving now in the system we've built for him, alongside great organizations like a tutorial that we're a part of here in town, getting resources from great groups like THSC, and really coming up with a unique plan. So our other little one, she's in elementary school until one more year, 4th grade, and she's going to come on the journey too. And so we're really excited about fully stepping into the freedom that homeschool education provides, even in light of Bear's situation, is what we kind of like to refer to it as. So hopefully that helps.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. And what I love is that you guys even called an audible, right? Because he started out in normal education, and then you realize hey, the plan doesn't work for him anymore. We came to a point where we need to make that switch. I know it was a COVID year with all the masks and things like that, but were you already kind of getting a hunch as he was getting into those exiting elementary, heading into middle school, that something needed to change because he's changing, he's evolving. Talk to us about that.
I think the biggest thing we picked up on was for Bear everywhere he went was the classroom. Like it is the most naturally studious kid, inquisitive kid that you've ever seen. And we actually started wondering if that structure, that regimented structure for him was actually going to dampen his ability to lean into passion areas, which I fundamentally believe when we can make our purpose and our passions line up with our work, it's like the most fulfilling life we can lead. And I don't know if my kids are going to go to higher ed. I don't know if they have to anymore. I don't even use the undergrad degree that I have in my daily work, And so we started exploring the idea of, well, if college isn't his future, great. We don't want to take it out of his future. We also don't want to presume that it has to be in his future either. And so we said, the school system is built in a way to drive towards that and not only. And so anyways, we started asking a bunch of questions, started seeking wise counsel, started seeing what other people around us were doing. And, we grew up, I'm a little bit older than you. I won't say how much, but, I just grew up in a world where homeschool was so taboo, and it's just not anymore. Like it has come so far. And so, yeah, I think it was a bit of his situational awareness and his uniqueness as a child, his natural, lean in towards loving academics and learning and wanting to learn, that we were like, this guy might thrive in more of a self-guided, mom and dad guided, helper guided environment. And man, his quality of life, his energy, his health, like the vibrancy that he lives with from living out his schedule, that he likes right now it's life-giving for all of us. It also means I work out of the house. So it also means I get to see him, I get to see him a lot, and I love it. So it's a blessing.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. Now so some backstory, my sister has adopted a special needs child with very severe autism, uses an iPad to talk. She does a fantastic job with him, but I know that there's a flip side to this, right? So for every win of Bear doing amazing things, there's also been the parenting journey and kind of adjusting expectations of what life with a special needs child would look like. We always have that classic image in our head and the white picket fence, the yellow house, but yet life hands us different cards. So could you talk to me about, the journey that you and Jenny have been on, having to change your expectations or moments that have been harder? Because I know that a lot of our audience comes in kind of feeling beat down and discouraged. Like, I can't do this because it's not fitting the mold of what every major curriculum says it should be, or what my own expectations are. Can you walk me through just how you guys have navigated that and where you're at with it?
Yeah, I would say a lot of prayer. Obviously, we're people of faith, so we have to start there. But a lot of getting to where the middle ground is, and what I mean by that is there's three people that are involved in Bear's education because he's involved in it too. Mm-hmm. And so, what I'm sort of looking for is the dad, the entrepreneur in the family. What my wife's sort of looking for from social acceptance, support, community, making sure that his uniqueness is celebrated and not condemned. And then what Bear's looking for was like, he just wants to learn, especially around the things he's passionate about. And so I say for us is like, wherever your line is, because everybody's needs are very different, to the point, ours, while he has physical ailments and challenges, he is super high functioning on the hyper intelligent end. The social side of it is the part where we really have to engage with Bear and get him more therapy and kind of really work with him. So what I would say is like alignment inside the family is the most critical thing before you ever go outside of the family. But then I will say that we can't be an island, and you do have to find your people. Mm-hmm. And thankfully for us here, in the same, not his first year of being homeschooled, but his second year of being homeschooled, a local church fight, and we're like, this is not okay. Where the public school system is going is not okay. We will underwrite it, but we're going to stand up, a college preparatorial 2-day-a-week homeschool tutorial that is run by master's educated teachers. So Bear, we've plugged into a community here locally where he's able to go and get lectured 2 days a week. And then he's self-paced 3 days a week with mom and dad proctoring the rest of his learning experience, stepping in. He and I do Bible together. His mom does Bible with him too. We'll do life lessons. He goes on field trips with me for my work, and he does reports on what he's learning as he goes from dad's marketing services. So we basically have also decided to integrate Bear's learning into the lifestyle we want to lead, which I think is the most life-giving thing you can do, is to understand that learning literally can happen no matter where they are or no matter where you are, like where they are developmentally or where you are geographically, financially, like learning literally happens every day. And if it's our job to train them up in the way they should go, then we need to be creating learning moments, whether they're out of a book or at the grocery store. And so that's kind of the way we do a lot of like math talking when we're counting change back, and why was it this way? And you now do the tax in your head. Why is it going to be that? Because he works on commission for dad, and he's already building a budget. And so I just think there's so much more of that well-roundedness you get to bring to your child's developmental experience when you're not subbing them out 8 hours a day. That's kind of the way we've looked at it. So I know our situation is going to be unique to everyone else. My encouragement is like, you need to find the fit that works for all parties that are involved and then live that out.
Yeah, that's good. Have you guys had to call an audible, right? The initial plan you might have set for them in 2020. How has that plan changed? Because I know that a lot of homeschool moms and dads start off as that checkbox, right? Okay, we've got this done, we've got this done. And then at some point, the stress of all of that just kind of engulfs you and you're like, let's just kind of call an audible. Have you guys had to do that with him and kind of find what works best for his unique situation?
So he is on an IEP, and his IEP that was the public school administrator for the first 5 years of his 6 years of his learning. He was constantly progressing out and mastering skills, but then he still had some that he wasn't progressing on and mastering. So our first full year of being homeschooled, we went to a camp that's a bit more wild and free. And we sort of stepped into that side of homeschool and realized it wasn't good for us, but mainly it wasn't good for Bear. Bear actually likes structure. He likes his day to be planned. He likes to know when his 2 miles on the treadmill is coming up on his schedule because the kid is faithful and that's what he does. And so what we realized is like we went from way too much structure to way too little structure. And now we're in this happy balance in the middle. So our change of plan was, well, let's literally see if there's something that feels like a hybrid between the two that's still homeschool preeminent with hybrid tutorial, so that he can feel like he's in charge of his schedule 3 days a week and they're in charge of his schedule 2 days a week. And again, it's college prep. So it's lecture. It's 90 minutes of lecture and his core subjects, one elective that we just pay for him to do because we want him to have the social experience. And then he comes home and he is, he's diligent about driving forward on the deliverables of actually doing his work. Our program also allows you, if you want to participate in state examinations, to still see how they're scoring kind of to the state standards, which we loved having as an option for us. I'm not sure we're actually going to use it. We just loved having it as an option. Right. So again, I think you have to kind of dig into get a preponderance of opinions from educated sources, but then ultimately stay aligned with your family of what is best for that unique child, because they genuinely are, a unique creation that was formed with a purpose. And it's up to us to kind of call that out of them and steward that well, as their parents.
I love that. And I love that your calling for homeschooling supersedes a diagnosis, supersedes a schedule. Like, you as the parents have just taken ownership of his education and soon to be your daughter's education coming back in the home. I'm seeing that April asked us a question: what's an audible? My definition, just like Trey
said, it's a football term, April. Come on, we're going to talk about Georgia and Florida here real quick, but go ahead.
Just changing the play. That's the beauty of homeschooling, is that what you do, not even year over year, but month over month, like if your kid's not adjusting to the structure or maybe the lack of structure, if a curriculum's not working for them, maybe like another curriculum, that's the beauty, is that at any moment you guys can kind of throw the flag, call a change of play, change of pace, especially dealing with special needs children. The pace probably is always changing. Some seasons, like, Bear having physical disabilities, I'm sure there's times where he wants to go, but then maybe there's times where he needs to slow down a little bit to take care of him. And I think we can all relate to that. April's not a sports person. That's funny. April, I think you're actually one of the ones who are going to be doing our workshop for our special needs track. So thanks for joining in today. I'm always happy to hear you.
Yeah.
See you on here. Okay, well, this is exciting. So talk to us. You've talked briefly about community. And I know, special needs or not special needs, the homeschooling world needs community. I think we're breaking the mold of being the socially awkward, like weird kids in the skirt in the back of the room that no one talks about. But how do people practically find community? If we're in the church world, it's super easy, right? You're in a small group, you're connecting with people once a week. But with your role at THSC and everything going on there, are there resources for people to actually get plugged in with like-minded families?
Yeah, I think this is a critical, like, mission centric concept of where Texas Homeschool Coalition has been and are going. I think the ability to know that you're not alone, not you're definitely not alone in your own house, and you're certainly not alone on either of those journeys, being a homeschool family or being a special needs family. And so, in a way, there's actually separate independent communities that I believe you can find support in both of those things. But the cool thing is where you can find a community that supports both of those things holistically, which was a huge draw for us when I started digging into the opportunity to help serve here at THSC. Even though I'm not in Texas, I loved. This is the type of offer I would want to see my family be able to take part of. And my hope is that we figure out how to go national one day. But, we got plenty of work to do in Texas first. And so, I think having that group, and there's levels to it. It's knowing that you're not alone from, like, there are other special needs families out there that are pursuing it. Inside of THSC, the idea of being able to have a mentor coach that you can call up to be able to say, I'm struggling today. I need to know how to solve this. I just need somebody to bounce some ideas off of. What do you think? So I think we're leaning into that digital community. I think you got to have that physical community in your local market that you need to plug into, whether it's a co-op or a tutorial or a church group, or your neighbor, like doing neighborhood hangouts at your house, like after school program at your house, that invite the public school kids to come over. Like, there's ways to still get the community solved, but then also being able to have that professional in your corner is a huge proponent of what I'm most excited about as we continue to expand Texas Homeschool's offering. Our purpose is being able to let people know they can get the level of community they need when they need it. But we aren't islands, on purpose, right? So we are not to over spiritualize it, but we are members of a body for a reason. Like, it is in the coming together of like-mindedness and the common pursuit of growth that growth actually happens at a better clip. And so I think you can do it on your own. And there's that old mantra: if you want to go far, go alone. But if you want to go fast, go together. And I think, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And now, so I think THSC is in the go far kind of side of the aisle here, of helping people be supported and resourced, especially from that human connection side. Opportunities like the conventions that we have coming up, to be able to see, I'm not weird. I'm not alone. Yep. These are normal people like me that are just choosing what I believe isn't a different way. It's a better way. And so I think that's the empowerment that we're looking for people to walk away with too, is like, this actually is a better way. Like, I feel such a pain around abdicating the educational responsibility of my own children for so long that I feel like I'm trying to make up for the lost time. And so, yeah, I hopefully that's encouraging to somebody out there that's listening.
Yeah, that's really good. And, not only does Texas Homeschool Coalition offer the community, like you said, you can call up and talk to a special needs expert, or talk to just a coach or a mentor, someone to pray with you. But we also, looking at the website, offer a ton of practical resources. So to just list a few, individual learning plan generator. So you're not having to scour the internet to find generators or things like that for your learning plan. Tons of autism research. We know that autism is on the climb, and so THSC is doing great at resourcing that. You've got stuff for dyslexia, special needs coaching, curriculum and resources for special needs. So the offering is wide. I love that THSC covers the practical and covers the community. And then it all comes together for this beautiful weekend happening in I think it's 55 days away in Fort Worth.
Come on.
The convention, which is so exciting. And the reason, we're doing something like the special needs track is because, just like Trey said, when you're sitting in these workshops, take a look around. Those are your people. Those are your community for you to connect with. And you'd be surprised. We have people from all over the state come in. And so there is somebody there from your community. And if there's not, why don't you invite a friend to come along with you, and you guys get encouraged, equipped, and empowered to keep doing what you're doing. Because we know that the journey of homeschooling, special needs or not, is exactly that. It's a journey. It has its ups and downs. A few weeks ago, Amy said that she used to pretend to drop her kids off at the high school when they were wilding out. And she's like, you guys can go back to public school. So we know that people need community. And this weekend is exactly what this is for. We say at the start of this show, we're not just a podcast, we're a community. And that's really where it starts to take shape. And so you have a personal invite from myself, and I'm sure from Trey, to come and enjoy everything we put together. And for special needs families out there, like, we're just here to encourage, equip, and empower you, and to love on you, because we know the day-to-day of that is it takes a toll, and we're here for you and we see you. So Trey, with all of that, any final thoughts, encouragement from one dad to another, to a family? What do you got?
Yeah, I just had the honor a couple of days ago. A big broadcast event called NRB is happening here in Metro Nashville this week, and my wife and I got a chance to go and screen a movie that's coming out from the Kendrick brothers later on this year. It's called The Forge, and there was this scene. I don't want to give too much away, but there's basically this scene in there where one of the characters has been holding himself up by himself for so long, and it's like this. There's this spiritual thing that happens in the movie where these others come in to help this young man hold up the burdens he's been holding up for so long. And it's like this inflection moment of just incredible opportunity. And that's what I would encourage the people that are listening to do. If you're on the fence about coming to the convention and you feel like your hourglass is short on sand, and you're like, I don't really know if I can keep going, come get your cup filled up. Come to the convention, see that you're not alone, be inspired like you've never been before, leave encouraged and empowered that you can continue to do this. There are great organizations like ours, as well as dozens of others that will be there exhibiting, that are saying, we love this crowd. You are not alone. We are here to support you. You'll make a friend there. You might make two, which is just a double blessing. And Chelsea will be there, which is just worth the price of admission because she's a ray of sunshine. And if you see me walking around, you can say hey too, because I'll be there. But that's what I would say is, like, you cannot, single parent, co-parenting, actual parent, married couple, like it's still not enough. Like, as brilliant as I believe my wife to be and as hardworking as I try to be, we still can't do it alone. You've got to find the resources to kind of impart to you to be able to go to that next level. And I hope you'll consider the convention and, THSC membership as a way to kind of help you into that next echelon of homeschool parenting, homeschool development.
Awesome. Well, Trey, thank you so much for being on the show with us. Like Trey said, you can find him running the halls at convention. He is also an equal joy to be around and so knowledgeable. And Trey, if nothing else from this conversation, I'm walking away just feeling encouraged that there is people to support the special needs community, whether it's somebody like Texas Homeschool Coalition or whether it's your local church or somewhere around you. So, Trey, thank you again for being here. Thanks for sharing your story. Tell your family we said hello, and we will see you at convention in 55 short days, okay?
Yes. Thank you, Chelsea, for having me. Everybody be blessed. Have a great weekend.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Trey. Well, guys, that was Trey, Chief Marketing Officer of the Texas Homeschool Coalition. You can find out more about THSC and all they offer for special needs at thsc.org. When I say they have pages and pages and pages of resources, that's exactly it. And so with all of that being said, special needs is a niche community, but we all know someone who's in it. Would you mind sharing this and letting them know that we are hosting a track that's just for them, to encourage them, to equip them, and to empower them? Whether they're homeschooling or not, this is a track for them, to just let them know about the resources that are out there. And hey, for those of you who have not gotten your tickets yet, we are selling incredibly quick. And so grab your tickets, convention.thsc.org today. We have a promo code at the end of this, show 10, to get 10% off as my treat and gift to you for coming and joining us every week. Guys, we're 55 days away. I'm getting excited. I hope you're getting excited. And we cannot wait to see you there. As always, thank you to Spirit Media for producing this. Guys, the production team that helps us put this on each week is awesome. They're behind the scenes right now, throwing up slides, throwing up all the cool things for us. And so give them some love, follow them on Facebook, and I will see you next week as we dive into a conversation about the homeschooling world. I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on this week's episode of the Texas Homeschool Convention Show.
We hope you are leaving encouraged, equipped, and empowered to take on this week as an intentional parent.
Be sure to subscribe on YouTube and never miss an episode.
No matter where you are in your journey, we are here to support you. Make sure to check out our website at conventions.thsc.org. Come join our community.
Did you know that we host in-person conventions each year in Texas? Join us in Fort Worth, Texas and Houston, Texas in 2024 as we celebrate 30 years of homeschooling freedom in Texas.
Use code SHOW10 for a 10% discount on your convention tickets.
This has been the Texas Homeschool Convention Show. Have a request for who you'd like to be on our show? Email us at events@thsc.org and tell us more. We always love hearing from you. We will see you next week.